Hey everybody, on Thursday night it is 11:08, and I want to say one thing to start things off. Go Bears. The California Golden Bears are bowl eligible, and tickets for bowl games will be announced starting December 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. I don't know what bowl game it's going to be yet, but as one who graduated from Cal, got his master's in city planning degree there, and was on the Cal alumni board from 1998 through 2005. Awesome. Just, I can't say enough. 2003. Awesome. Time flies. Awesome. Go Bears. I mean, congratulations to Justin Wilcox. I had to admit, I wasn't a fan of the offense, but the defense carried us through. And now we are going into the Cal-Stanford big game with tied records, 7-4. Cal 7-4, Stanford is 7-4, and it feels like King Kong versus Godzilla. One will emerge 8-4, one will emerge 7-5. Outstanding. Meanwhile, on the very next day, we have, you guessed it, we've got Chiefs Kingdom coming in to visit the Raiders, the Coliseum. And the Chiefs are the picture of the polar opposite of the Raiders. The Chiefs are 9-2. The Raiders are 2-9. How about that? You got the guy, both Andy Reid and John Gruden worked for Mike Holmgren. So you have, it's almost like Cain and Abel, in a sense. You got Reid doing all the right things, Gruden doing all the wrong things. And what kind of story does that make? Well, I think I just sort of laid it out, didn't I? What do I expect? The only possible outcome that could be favorable for us as Raider fans is that the Chiefs think of this as a steamroller game. In other words, we're going to walk into the Coliseum. Everyone's mad at the Raiders. Even the A's dissed them with an artist rendition of a stadium that doesn't include them or a football gridiron. It's like they was erased from the face of the earth. That's what it looks like. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but that's exactly what it looks like. And here come the Chiefs to remind the Raiders of just how much life kind of sucks right now, So the Raiders have two choices. They can fold in their tent and just lay down for the Chiefs, or they can come out with a crazy quill, never before seen game approach, surprise the Chiefs, and march out with a victory. That would be cool. Never play to the station that others see you as. If there's a saying, because it's easy to say, you are what the score says you are. You are what your record says you are, right? But do you have to be? Nah, I don't think so at all. I think the Raiders could do it. The question is, will they? Look, as long as, hey, welcome to Zenny 62. As long as there is a game to be played, and as long as there is the possibility of being able to fashion a game plan. Nico says Kansas City fans are annoying. Can you explain, Nico, how Kansas City fans are annoying? And when you write that comment, you know what I think of? I think of the construction worker on the Las Vegas stadium site that it was this Chiefs fan who holds up this Chiefs Kingdom sign. Remember that? Basically saying that, hey, when this stadium is finished, it's going to be owned by us, by Kansas City fans. That's what he was saying. I don't know if I find that so much. Okay, yeah, it is annoying. Is that what you mean? Is that what you mean when you say annoying? What do you think of? Because when I think of annoying, That's what I think of. I think of, okay, you are basically putting it to us, saying that even before this thing is built, the stadium is going to be ours and not yours, and we're going to take it over. All the way down to maybe trying to paint the seats red and white, right? I'm only half kidding. But when you write Kansas City fans are annoying, what makes you write that? Aside from the fact that your fingers can work, or your thumbs, what makes you write that? Hey, welcome to Zenny62, by the way. Do you find Kansas? This is now a question for the flock. Do you find Kansas City fans annoying? I mean, I don't. I admittedly haven't seen much of the Chiefs, and I admire Andy Reid as a coach. So there's a start. I don't, he's number one Kansas City fan, right? Arguably, other than the owners. Donis says, do the Raiders still have the will to win? Donis, that's the question of the day. Nico says he lived in Kansas City for 30 years. Okay, great. But when you say they're annoying, give us a vision, give us an idea. Sheldon Ponder II says, nope, I'm a Kansas City Chiefs baby. Okay, so Shelton, you say Kansas City fans are not annoying. But why? What is it about the Chiefs fan that is of such incredible pedigree that we should worship Chiefs fans on a par with Raider Nation or Cowboy Nation or anything else? Did I say worship? I worship the Lord Jesus Christ, not fans. But you get what I'm saying. All right, it's all in fun anyway. Just talking smack, right? What is it that makes? Because Nico has not answered the question. He has said, folks, if you're just joining, or maybe you don't want to participate in the conversation, but Nico says that Kansas City fans are annoying. He writes this, okay? And I am, curious to know what he means. Then he follows up with, I think he meant lived in Kansas City for 30 years. Or he means, I live in Kansas City now for 30 years, whatever. And then Shelton Ponder fires back. They have stank for so long. Now there's a young quarterback who is not afraid to throw the ball deep. Alex Smith was. I want to challenge you there. Because for one thing, Alex Smith gets a bad rap. I don't think Alex Smith had an issue with throwing deep. He just didn't do it well. And what happened was that it wasn't cultivated because it wasn't the central part of his skill set. Alex Smith always, when he came into the league, and I have to be candid, I was one of those who felt that Aaron Rodgers should have been drafted number one and went to the 49ers rather than being drafted 25 and going to the Green Bay Packers. I was shocked that Alex was chosen over Aaron Rodgers. Very shocked. And I was there when it happened. That was my first New York NFL draft. That was the 2005 NFL draft. But, he turned out okay, right? Now, Alex has had systems designed for his talents, which are short to medium range accuracy. Mahomes played in a system that called for him to throw deeper passes, the air raid offense. And so I think that was cultivated, okay? When you all talk about players, you talk about them as if there's no coach and no game plan that is out of their control, right? It's almost like you talk about them as if they are on street or sandlot and they're doing all this by themselves. They're coaches that cultivate who they become, all right? Nico Lugo says Alex is too conservative. I think those are the offenses he plays in. Shelton Ponder says he was too conservative with the football. Patrick Mahomes is just a stud. Now, there you go. I don't think, and I want to I'll finish what you're reading and what you wrote though in a second. But I want to break in by saying, to me, I don't think of this as let's criticize Alex Smith Day. Okay. I think of it as let's praise Patrick Mahomes Day. Because let's face it, yes, he was fantastic at Texas Tech, no question about it. But because of the hype placed on the quarterbacks before him, all right, like Mitch Trubisky, no one saw Mahomes coming. All right. Mahomes came in and just lit up the league, and he's lit up the league more this year. Whereas Mitch has been good. Do not misunderstand me. Mitchell Trubisky may wind up marching the Bears into the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. That would be cool. All right. But he's not Patrick Mahomes. Okay. So, but to finish Shelton Ponder II's comment, he writes, Shelton does, that Alex Smith was too conservative with the football. Mahomes is just a stud. He has so many deadly weapons around him who will burn defenses. Yeah, absolutely. So does, Trubisky has some weapons himself. People who are coming along and have been very effective. Allen Robinson, one of them with the Bears, right? Number 12. But again, I'm going back to this other thing that's out there, that's just sticking out there, right? That other thing is this. Nico has not explained what he means when he writes that Kansas City Chiefs fans are annoying, which in and of itself is annoying. Okay? Don't just say things. Give me an example. I mean, what do you mean when you say that he is annoying? Hey, welcome to Zenny 62 on a Thursday night, where we're not only talking about the Chiefs and the Broncos, we're also talking about the fact that the Chiefs, let's say the Chiefs and the Broncos, well, I'm sorry, folks. They've been so like, hold on a second. I'm calling a special guest. And so, at any rate, who will call in, I think a second ago. He's a guy that I've known for a long time who has a special project that I want to talk about and have you learn about regarding the Raiders, okay? But hopefully he calls in the right way. Right? Anyway, okay, here he is. It's Robert Brown. Mr. Brown.
Mr. Zenny Abraham, I presume.
You presume correctly, folks. It is my pleasure to introduce a longtime friend who helped me form the bid for the 2005 Super Bowl to Oakland. We sadly lost to Jacksonville. We had a great time in the process. Robert Brown. I almost want to say Robert something in the middle Brown. Like, Robert, great to meet you. See you, Brown. Robert, glad to How you doing, man?
I'm doing very well, Zenny. How about yourself?
I'm fine. I apologize. And as my viewers know, I'm here in Georgia for my mom, and I've only seen Oakland, I think, 52 days out of the year.
But you recognize what's important. Listen,
thank you.
There's nothing more important than your mom. So
that's right.
That needs no qualifier at all.
Thank you, God. You said it. You said it all. Hey, I want my viewers to hear about your special projects, in as much as this is a Kansas City Chiefs at Oakland Raiders preview and NFL Las Vegas update. So it's Raider talk, and we're talking Raiders, and even I'm waiting for somebody to explain to me why they think Chiefs fans are annoying, but that's another story. Jack Tatum is, arguably one of the people who could hold the mantle of Mr. Raider, a Raider legend. And you're involved in a project with Jack?
Yes, I am. Let's see if I can be succinct in it. Jack Tatum went to Ohio State. He's a little bit older than I am. I'm a graduate of the Ohio State University. I need to say that.
Congratulations, by the way.
And what I am putting together a documentary on Jack Tatum. I first started it by having a Jack Tatum exhibit the first week of the season in downtown Oakland, and want to tell the story of Jack Tatum. One of the things that kind of drove me is that Jack had been mislabeled, and I say mislabeled, by the Daryl Singley hit, which at the time was very legal. But what I want to tell the story of Jack's life through the people who knew Jack. And I say that because there's a bunch of people who knew of Jack, knew parts of Jack, but who didn't know that with that hard-hitting demeanor, Jack was probably the most quiet, humble guy that you can meet. So working on a documentary, and I remember Jack passed in 2000, I want to say 2008. Yeah. And Al Davis, who passed about 6 months or 8 months later, said that Jack Tatum established the tone for what the Raiders are today. And the way I always tell everybody today is that Jack puts the attack in the silver and black. That much of the imagery that's created by the Raiders is a hard-hitting, tough guy, tough